Welcome back, everybody. The History Guy here. Time for your daily dose of Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. And as promised, we are going to dive into a custom battle and recreate a historical battle, kinda. And probably other than the Battle of Denmark Strait, the most requested battle has been the Battle of Tsushima, which was the decisive and kind of ending battle of the Russo-Japanese War. In the first decade of the 20th century. It was May 27th and 28th of 1905. It was not only historic because it was first in many ways. It was the first major battle between steel fleets with battleships. It was also the first battle that was where the use of radio was decisive. It also was the battle that ended the war because the Russian fleet was basically annihilated, at least the battleships were. So I'll talk a little bit more about the historic battle as we get into this, but I first want to let you know kind of what the parameters are and how we're going to choose to do this. Number one, we are only going to use the battleships. The battle gets too large and too unwieldy and too difficult if you start using all of the ships that were there. Historically, Japan had 5 battleships, 23 cruisers, 20 destroyers, 16 torpedo boats, plus others. The Russians had 8 battleships along with 3 smaller coastal battleships, 8 cruisers, 9 destroyers, and auxiliary vessels. The Russian fleet was much behind the Japanese fleet in terms of technology. A couple of you suggested that we go with 1895 for the Russians and 1905, which was the year of the battle for the Japanese. I think there was one Russian battleship that was kind of up to speed technology-wise, but otherwise they weren't. So what we're going to do to try and make this even is we will do the 8 battleships plus 3 coastal battleships, give 11 battleships to the technologically inferior Russians, and then we'll give 5 battleships to the Japanese. Now, I went in and just did this earlier just for fun to see what would happen, and just making it random where with a quick start I didn't do anything to design the Russian battleships. All 11 Russian battleships were sunk. One of the Japanese battleships took about 1/3 damage, and that was it. I mean, the Japanese just completely wiped the Russians out, which is what pretty much happened. But we don't want that to happen. We want to try and change history. So I'm actually going to go ahead and design the ships. And I don't know if this will be enough because, I mean, it may as well be a different millennium as far as the technology from 1895 to 1905. So I think most of us know that. So we're going to do what we can to try and give ourselves a fighting chance. Now, the problem that I noticed was that even though the Russians had pretty heavy guns, they had 13-inch guns, they couldn't compete. I mean, they just couldn't make a dent in the Japanese armor. The Japanese, I think, had like 15-inch armor, and they just couldn't penetrate it at all. And you can see that here. You can see if they got within 5,000 meters, they could penetrate. So it's going to have to be close to have any chance here at all. So it doesn't even look like it's going to allow me to get 13-inch guns on this thing. I don't know if maybe if we get longer, if that'll allow, but it seems like they just won't fit, at least not on this particular hull. So let's see if there's another. I'm sure Battleship 2, it's even smaller. So yeah, it's just not going to happen. So unless we can get them on the rear. Can we get one back there? No. So we can't do. I don't even know why they have 13-inch available on here, because they won't fit. So we've got to go 12, and there's really nothing we can do much with that. See, at 5,000 meters now, we can only penetrate 15.7 inch. But what we can do is go to super heavy shells. Well, we can't. We can go to heavy shells. We can only go up to a couple of different kinds of explosives. Range, damage, muzzle velocity, but not a whole lot else. So since cost is not an issue, we'll go ahead and do that. We're also going to try and we can at least get up to Harvey armor. So let's see. We'll get up to bigger bulkheads. We've got to try and give ourselves a fighting chance here as best we can. So, and we're definitely going to tack on the armor, although you can see we're already just about maxed out at weight, and I haven't even put towers on this thing yet. So let's reduce the armor. We're probably going to also, oh, the aft weight offset is crazy now. We're also going to have, let's see. All right. This is going to be a nightmare trying to build a workable ship with these parameters. I don't think casemate guns are going to matter because we're going to have a hard enough time penetrating with what we've got. Underwater torpedo tubes might just come in handy on this one. We can go Citadel 1, that's it there. Okay, how about funnels? We're going to put 2 of them on there because why not? There's nothing else really to be gained by not doing it. We're only at 52% engine efficiency right now. Induced gets us to 100. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and throw another funnel on there if I can. And I guess I can't. How about... Yeah, I guess that's what we already had. So, man, this weight offset is brutal. And there's not a thing in the world I can do about it. You know, the Russians did have kind of weird gun setups to begin with, but I just don't know what to do here. Plus, I'm overweight. All right, we're going to have to drop speed, which, honestly, speed's not really going to be an issue, but you can see the more speed I drop, the worse it becomes. What can I do? That helps a little bit, but it doesn't help me with the issue of being able to fit more guns. I just, no matter what I do, I can't get more guns on this thing. Just the way this thing's built. So I don't know a thing I can do about the weight offset at this point. We can raise the range, but that just gives me more weight that I don't have. This is brutal. What can we do? I can't go better on the armor. I can't really add any of this stuff. I can reduce the bulkheads. That's honestly about it, but we've got such a weight offset. There's not a thing I can do about that unless I just remove the guns from the rear, and then I've got a huge 4-weight offset. We could go to smaller guns on the rear, which is just stupid, but yeah, that's kind of what we're going to have to do, which really stinks and just is really ugly and not fun at all. But I'm kind of stuck as far as what I'm going to do. So I'm going to try to raise up this belt armor. It's not going to let me go to 14. So we're going to have a problem on our hands, but we're going to see what we can do here. All right, let's do this. Battle of Tsushima. So let's talk a little bit about the battle. I'm going to just let the fleets do their thing. I'm not going to try to control them, at least not at first. I'm just going to put them on AI and see what happens. Let them kind of fight this battle out a little bit. I confess I do not know as much as I'd like to about this battle. I studied up some in preparing for this. I can give you some of the numbers. Casualty figures. Let's go to 2 times speed here. Casualty figures. On the Japanese side, 117 dead, 583 injured, and 3 torpedo boats sunk. That was it. But on the Russian side, 4,380 dead, 5,917 were captured, 6 battleships sunk, 1 coastal battleship sunk, 14 other ships sunk, 17 captured, 6 disarmed, a total of 126,000 tons. This was the last major battle between nations where ships of the line, the best ships of their type, of their nation, were surrendered at the end of the battle. The Russians basically just gave up their fleet. So they had nothing. And this fleet had traveled like 18,000 miles. They had come from Eastern Europe all the way around Africa. Some of them went through the Mediterranean, but they all had to travel pretty much around the world to get to this battle, only to just be wiped out. It was fought in the Tsushima Strait, which is between the Korean Peninsula and southern Japan. And Admiral Tōgō was the commanding officer. And, of course, we are familiar some with him being one of kind of the early pioneers of the modern Japanese Navy. He only served a few more years after that. He retired before World War I began, but he was a veteran of the of several wars, including the Sino-Japanese War, the Russo-Japanese War, of course. So prior to this war was really important, and not a lot of people know about it. This war was really important because it was the first kind of major action between these fleets that had started building these big dreadnought battleships, and it taught the other nations of the world a lot about what works and what especially doesn't work. So before this, countries used a lot of mixed batteries, 6-inch, 8-inch, 10-inch, and 12-inch guns, and kind of believing that they would kind of be in a battle line and that they would fight close quarter, kind of as fleets had done for centuries. But this battle showed that speed, big guns, and long range was really the way to go, and that became the future after that. So nothing really happening so far. We don't expect that to happen for a little while here. We're pretty far away at the moment, but it's all going to kind of close in real quick. Let's look at the names of the ships. I think a couple of these may be names of historic ships that were actually there. I think Volya might be one of them. Let me take a look. I can kind of pull that up here. I'm going to, once they get closer, I'm going to probably tell the Russian battleships to get aggressive with their torpedoes, just to kind of throw the smaller Japanese fleet off a little bit, if possible. These guys ought to at least slow down so they can get that speed bonus. So we're starting to get that own cruise speed bonus. We'll see if that helps them get some hits. Shikishima is the first one we've identified. Seems to be the one that many of our ships are firing on. There's a fire going on one of the lead Russian ships. Haven't had any hits yet for the Russians. You can see some of them are firing HE and some of them are firing AP. There's the first hit, but it was completely blocked, and we're going to see a lot of that, unfortunately. All right, I'm going to tell them to get aggressive with their torpedoes. They're only going to be firing like one at a time anyway. Two hits, both completely blocked. They're going to have to get in closer to try and make penetrations, because right now, 7 kilometers are just, they're not going to penetrate at that distance. They're going to have to close the distance. And there are really not that many shells available to them. You've got maybe 90 salvos with each one. The good news is they're not taking a lot of damage either. It's going to take them a while to close this distance. So at least for now, they may be better off going with HE. At least get some fires going, maybe cause some damage. These guys are back there. They're going to do even less. So there's a 10-inch over penetration hit for 35 damage. Interesting. It did, yeah. That not a lot of damage though. Now you can start to see the fires going. It's something at least. Got down to 7 kilometers, just a 3% chance to hit and only 23% chance for penetration. We got a partial pen for 30 damage. All right. This is definitely going better, much better than it did the last time I fought this battle earlier today, and I just did auto build for the ships. I didn't cause much more damage to his whole fleet the entire time. I do worry a little bit about getting closer, but I also understand that's the only way we're going to be able to penetrate his armor. Alright, he got a hit on me. Couple of hits. Let's go ahead and try armor penetrating shells for a minute. Oh, we got a lot coming in on this lead ship now. Oh, it just changed targets. Alright. Still frustrating. 29% chance for penetration. Well, that's weird. The rear turret fired on him, but the front turret's still firing on this guy, or is firing on this guy now. Oh, so much coming my way. We've still only had 3 hits. Alright, so let's take a look at the names of his ships now. Nishin, Yashima, Yamashiro, Setsu, and Shikishima. What's our distance now? We're up to 5.3 kilometers. Alright, come on. Alright, we're going to start turning this way. My lead ship's taking some damage here. This is going to be a long battle. I mean, with the technology as it is at this time, nothing happens quickly. I'm going to go ahead and speed it up to 3 for a little while. There's no destroyers, so I'm not too worried about having to dodge torpedoes and things like that, at least not yet. I don't even know if he has any. Doesn't look like he does. What size guns does he have? He's got 11-inch guns. Gonna keep turning. I want to try and get close to him as much as I can. Our torpedoes only have a 3-kilometer range, so not gonna be using any of those anytime soon. Let's go ahead and try to catch up to him. Man, just not a lot of hits at all. When I did this battle the last time, I think by the time it was over, I had something like 500 blocked shots. Just an insane amount. My own cruise speed numbers are actually going up right now. Well, it went up for a minute, now it's not. But we're still only going 14.5 knots. We're losing sight of his ships. They were actually pulling away. Kind of fascinating. It's like he's like not even choosing to engage me. Last time he came right toward me. Alright, so let's start speeding up. What is their max speed? 17 knots, so I can definitely catch them. I'm just really fascinated by the fact that he's choosing to run. Alright, I guess we speed things up a little bit until we catch him. Alright, well, it took quite a bit of time, an hour in the battle time, about 20 minutes of my actual time since I was last recording, for me to get this close to catching up to these guys who apparently have decided that they're running from this battle. I have no idea why, because I still think they have the advantage. But the problem I'm running into is I'm running low on shells, so I've put everybody into a save fire mode. But you can see they're firing on this guy because they're close enough to him. But we may yet have need of these torpedoes when we get up there. So we're just about into torpedo range. But I'm also going to go ahead and tell it to be normal on the torpedoes. All right. So we're gonna, yeah, like I said, we're gonna get off aggressive on the torpedoes because we're probably gonna need those. So we're now at, what are we at distance-wise? We've got him down to 3.4 kilometers. Once we get up alongside of him, I'll slow down so I can get the maximum on all of this. While we're waiting for that to happen, I want to give a shout out to some of the folks who we typically have listed as sponsors of the channel, and there have been a couple of new ones that have been added. So, and I apologize to some of the patrons that I don't have your name yet. I just have your username on Patreon because you're new or we haven't touched base yet. So I'm just reading out those usernames for now, and eventually we'll get your information and do it the right way. But Avenir Dutch has been a long time supporter. He's also our top tier supporter. He's at the highest tier of any of the people who are supporting right now, and I think he's been a supporter for about a year and a half. So Avenir Dutch, thank you so much for your continued support. It's been great having you. He's also been very helpful with the Discord server because that was all fairly new to me when I was starting out with it. So he's been a big help with kind of managing that as well. Drink beer, save water, one of our newest. Our patent is his email address, so I'm guessing that's probably more your name. But for now, that's all I know you as is Drink Beer, Save Water, which is a cool username. But thank you so much for becoming one of our newest patrons. I appreciate that. Graham Brown, another supporter who's been around for a while now. Gratefully Very grateful for your support. Andrew Snodgrass, who's been very active. He's one of the newer supporters just in the last several months, but very active, comments on just about every video. Has been great, and I really appreciate having you, Andrew, and all your support on this channel. KG is another new one as of today. Grateful to have him, and he's our Welsh friend. We were actually just chatting a little while earlier, as well as Jean Bart and Jim O'Hare. Jim O'Hare's been a long-time supporter as well. Jean has been with us for just a couple of months, but Jim's been around for a long, long time and been a huge supporter of this channel. So grateful to all of you, as well as our other supporters who are at the lower tiers, but still very much appreciated, and I'm glad to have you. I'm always looking for new ideas, and so if you have ideas as far as rewards that I can offer for the different tiers, I am all ears, and I'm always looking for what you, the viewer, might be interested in as far as that goes. Some of our folks who are patrons choose just to do it for the chance to support and don't even really take advantage of all of the perks that are available. And that's fine, you know, certainly don't have to. Let's see where we're at. I'm trying to catch up from two different angles here. And it looks like he's starting to turn. So maybe we'll be able to catch him since he's starting to slow down a little bit. Where are my other ships? Oh, they're all behind on that side. That's interesting. So we'll start following the turn. He's really coming after the Oriole now. We're actually in torpedo range, but I would rather wait until I'm up alongside him and he doesn't have much of a chance to dodge the torpedoes before I start firing those. Alright, let's go ahead and we're just going to speed things along just to move the action forward. We got one all the way out here. We've got to get these guys in closer. Oh, now he's going to turn the other way. So we'll have to turn to match. We've got up to 2.5 kilometer range now. Still not getting a lot of solid hits. But that's actually smart for him to turn toward these two because there's only two there. Whereas the majority of my fleet's over on this side. I'm going to put these guys on AI. Not entirely sure what they're going to do. He's just kind of rocking back and forth right now. I don't know if he thinks he can shake me that way or what. We're down to just 68 shells left with these guys. I'm gonna run out of the ability to hit him. I've got a lot of 10-inch though. Let's try the HE shells. See if we have any better luck with those. We got a partial pen there. Of course, the problem is that as I get closer, he also gets more accurate and gets better penetration. Oh boy. We got a hit for 102 damage. That's nice to see. Nailed the Yamashiro pretty good there. Just don't know if it's going to be too little too late. Oriol's in big trouble now. Let's get aggressive with their torpedoes just because we might not have a chance to use them later. At the very least, we might cause him to have to maneuver and therefore slow down. Oh, Oriol's going to drop to the back now. I hate that. Hate it. I understand why it happens, but I hate it. Get aggressive with their torpedoes too. Of course, they're so limited as far as where I can fire those from. There's only one on the front, one on each side, and one in the rear. It makes it difficult to be able to launch them. You got to try and turn sideways. Come on, baby. Get some hits. Oriol dropping is throwing these guys off completely because I can't get around him. That just, that's such a frustrating feature of this game that it automatically does that and there's nothing you can do about it because now I've completely lost the ability to pursue him on that side. And you can see they're turning to avoid the torpedoes. So that's going to give me an opportunity here if I had any kind of ability to hit whatsoever. And of course, part of that's the different caliber guns on the front and the rear, but there was nothing I could do about it. Come on, baby. Give me a hit. Man, even at a kilometer away, having a hard time hitting. I'm surprised this guy hasn't dropped behind. And the second I say that, it happens. It's like I spoke it into existence. So unbelievably frustrating. At least these guys are far enough behind that he'll drop out and this one will keep going. There won't be an issue. I basically just lost both of these ships because of that. These guys are way out in Timbuktu right now. Down to just 60 12-inch shells on this one. I could slow down and get a little more accuracy, but I really want to get my whole fleet up alongside him if I can. He's turning again. Must be another torpedo. Ugh. The accuracy is just abysmal. Alright, we're going to go ahead and speed things along again. Let's switch back to AP, see what happens. Let's see if I get better penetration that way. We're also going to fire another torpedo. There it goes. Oh, we switched targets. Beautiful. There's nothing I enjoy more than randomly switching targets. I think he just spotted the torpedo. All right, let's get locations on my other ships. All right, we're finally getting back into the action with the Narva. Trying to close distance here. All right, we're getting super close to this guy now. It's now or never. If we can't hit him and take him out from here, it's never going to happen. Out of ammo. Oh, he's out of ammo. Perfect. And we're about to get him with a torpedo, too. What, he decided he was just going to give up since he can't shoot me, that he'd just go ahead and let the torpedo hit him? Let's see what the torpedo does, if anything. Alright. That's progress. For Mother Russia. Now, let's see what happens. Got a good chance to hit now. Still not doing much in the way of penetration. Good night. There we go. We might have a sinking on our hands here soon. I'm going to go ahead and go back to auto on these guys. Now let's not pass him by where we don't finish him off and he gets away. He's about to sink. Alright, we're about to get our first sinking of this battle finally. Changing the course of world history. Come on. Oh, he's just barely staying ahead of the flooding with the pumps. All right, we're gonna put our focus on catching up to these other ones. Back in the action with the Narva. Finish him. Oh, he's getting ahead of the flooding now. That's the nice thing about having ships that are bringing up the rear, though. Oh, we're starting to make progress on this one, too. That's going to leave just 3. As my other ones don't have to stop and try to finish these guys. The ones coming up later can do that. And I can get these ones to continue the pursuit. There's the sinking. Awesome. It wasn't the one I thought it would be, though. This one sank first, the Yamashiro. We're going to get 2 right off the bat. Back to back here. Beautiful. Did something the Russians couldn't do. Maybe that was the one. Or was Nishin just that close to flooding and now they've managed to get on top of it? I can't remember. There's another torpedo, though. Those torpedoes are coming in handy. And we're going to be on either side of this guy here. Which is exactly what I've been after for a while now. I'm gonna watch Narva first because Narva's gonna get there first. And I think now we'll go ahead and slow down to get that accuracy bonus. I think we can still stay alongside him. He's got a torpedo in the water, but it's gonna miss. We can probably still at least go 2 times speed. He's out of big shells. This one's out. And this one's out. So I have nothing to fear at this point. I can get as close as I want, pretty much. We're almost out of 12-inch shells ourselves, though. They're moving to miss the torpedoes. Where's that other Japanese battleship? We almost got Nishin. Finally. There's a torpedo coming right at him. Oh yeah, this is gonna be the coup de grace. I love it. Oh no, Nishin sank before it got there. I was all excited for like an epic cinematic moment here, watching the torpedo kill shot, and it didn't happen. That's all right. Torpedo's playing a major part in this. That and the fact that he can't shoot at me with his big guns certainly helps. Still, you can see 72 ricochets, 20 blocked. We've had 18 partial pen, 4 torpedo hits, 18 penetration hits. Most of my fleet's still trying to play catch up right now. This guy's actually lost some of his ability to maintain speed, so we're going to detach him like I did with some of my others, just so the Volya can take the lead. Oh, Volya's not fast either. We kind of got the same problem no matter who I choose. Torpedoes in the water? Nope, I guess not. Thought I had. Be aggressive with the torpedoes, please. From this distance, I'm hoping we can get one in the water that'll nail him. Come on, baby. Yeah, that's a hit. He ain't missing that one. Let's see what it does. Ah. Only 64 damage. Didn't get him in a good spot. Alright, I want you to take on the lead ship. Getting really low. These guys still have 78 12-inch shells left. He's only got 6. So we've got 3 Japanese battleships. We're just trying to stay caught up to them. That's been the struggle here. About to fire another torpedo. Come on, baby. Nothing else, we're going to make him change his maneuvering. I think we got him. Perfect. Hope this one does a little more damage than the last one did. Not at all. Alright, 73. I should have probably gone with bigger torpedoes. Out of 12-inch ammo. It's just so frustrating that it takes this long. But I get it. Naval combat is not a it's not a thing where you're gonna hood everybody. I mean, you're not gonna get insta kills. I guess I'm just kind of used to that instant gratification where I've gotten a lot of those with those big 18-inch guns. Don't get to do that so much in the early game. That'll be interesting to see how that all plays out in the campaign. Torpedo in the water. There's a hit. That one did a little better. There's another torpedo coming from the other side. Oh, that one's gonna miss. Maybe. Oh, wow. He missed that by a foot, maybe two. Now we gotta be careful we don't hit our own ship here. I think we're okay. This distance, I'm hoping HE is the way to go. Setsu's going to be next. Yeah, high explosives ought to be able to penetrate from 400 yards, 400 meters. There's another torpedo. Oh yeah, we got him now. Now it's just the sharks are circling. We're gonna have a little trouble just kind of crossing the streams here a little bit. Oh, Setsu's on major fire. Another torpedo hit. Alright, AI, do you think you can handle this at this point? Do I need to hold your hand, or can you do this? Setsu's done. Come on, 1%. Don't tell me they're going to get ahead on the pumps. Just one more hit, maybe. There we go. And then there were two. Smolensk's got to be able to fire that rear torpedo. Maybe. Let's change our fire and get on this other one. Yeah, now we're getting those nice high explosive shots penetrating from close range. We've hit with 11 torpedoes, 40 penetration shells. I'm looking to see if there's any more torpedoes headed his way. Yeah, there's one that just missed. Shikishima may be next. You guys come on in a little closer. They've still got quite a bit of 12-inch shells left. Alright, I guess I'm going to have to hold their hand again after all. Alright, let's skip ahead to the good stuff. Alright, we just landed 2 more torpedo hits on Shikishima. She may be sinking very quickly. There we go. Bye-bye. Yeah, those 2 torpedoes did her in. I'm coming around now for hopefully what's a kill run with these 3. They're going to get in nice and close. Hopefully get to finishing shots. We got another torpedo headed his way. I think that one's going to find the mark. Although we're not doing a lot of flooding damage on this particular ship so far. But there's a torpedo hit. We're going to come around here. We got plenty of 12-inch shells. I think these 3 ought to be able to handle this. Just a couple of nice hits. Actually, that did a lot of flooding damage, and here comes another torpedo. I think we just about have it. That's definitely a change in the historical narrative for sure. Especially considering earlier today I recorded the same battle with the same time periods for technology, and the Russian fleet got completely wiped out. Here we go. Now we'll get our kill shot torpedo. Nice. Alright, so there you have it. Changing history, the Russians win the battle. So let me know your thoughts. Let's talk about the historical battle. Let me know what other battles you'd like to see, and we will see you again soon. Thanks for watching.